So my name is Dr. Christopher Donahue. I am the coordinator of the master's degree in social research and analysis and the certificate programs in customer and user experience research and also data collection and management. This is a family of programs that we sometimes call programs in social research and data analysis. And they are stackable programs, meaning that you can take credit for one of the programs and apply it to another program if you're interested in multiple programs. In addition, you can work your way towards a master's degree by completing a certificate, getting that micro-credential. That's what we call it, a micro-credential, when you've completed something like a certificate. And then you can apply those credits toward the completion of a master's degree. And I'll show you how to do that. So all of our programs are connected with the common theme of using data to make evidence-based decisions. Professionals in both private industry, as well as social policy and government nonprofits, are increasingly using data now, both quantitative and qualitative, to help them to make decisions when they have program choices to make, or when they want to evaluate their success with something, or maybe they want to conduct a needs assessment to see if a new product, a service, or a program is needed. And in these different fields, there are some common research methods that are used to understand people and social behavior. Namely, those are survey research, interviews, and focus groups. And all of our programs include training in those areas. Students that have interests in these particular fields, though, like social policy or data consulting, can take their electives in those fields. And they can even use them towards earning the certificates that I've been mentioning. So you can take your electives in one particular area and earn a certificate. And we also have some students that are interested in someday obtaining a PhD. Sometimes students begin with their master's degree, and then they may be able to apply some of the credit from that degree towards a doctorate. So as you can tell, we have students in our program from a lot of different areas and a lot of different interests. We actually have about 55 students right now across the programs that I've mentioned. Some of them are pursuing the certificate in CX and UX research, others in data collection management, others in the master's program. If you begin in a fall semester, you can complete all of these programs in 16 months, or just the master's or one of the certificates in 16 months, or it's even possible to finish just one of the certificates a little bit sooner than that. So I'm going to begin with our newest program, the Customer and User Experience Research Program. This is a program that trains students to use skills like empathy and problem solving to understand the way that customers and users use products and services, namely digital ones like websites and apps, but also physical products and services. Whether it's a coffee maker or it's a cell phone. And then in addition, when you think about services, you can broaden your scope to even include things like shopping experiences or your experience at a Starbucks. So in this program, we focus on what we call the customer journey. That's the process that a customer or a user, basically a user is someone who uses a website or an app. Oftentimes customers and users are the same people. And we look at their experience from when they're first exposed to a product or a service to the point where they're using it, and then their experience afterwards, like when they make a referral to someone else or they write a review online. This is a high growth area. There are many, many job openings for people who can do user experience research or customer experience research. I encourage you to do some reading about it if you haven't heard about it before. It includes many of the skills I've been describing, like survey research and interviews and focus groups, but UX researchers also use a lot of specialized skills, such as persona development and card sorting and think alouds for testing a product or a service. So you'd learn about those techniques in that program. And in addition, you'd get hands-on experience working on real projects. In the data collection and management certificate, you would focus just on the methods. So the surveys, interviews, and focus groups. You'd also learn to gather and analyze data quantitatively using basic statistics and also some next level statistics with the use of R mostly. R is a free software that we use to analyze quantitative data. And it's free, it's readily available on the internet. It's a very important skill to have on your resume. It's a good competency. It shows that you've learned something that can help you to analyze information in a quantitative fashion. And oftentimes the companies are looking for people who have demonstrated those kinds of skills, whether they're using R specifically or if they're using something else. So if they're using Python, for example, or another statistical software package, the ability to use a package like R demonstrates that you have that interest and you've been developing the kinds of competencies that many research organizations are looking for. Now, the master's degree in social research and analysis combines the features that I've described so far, and it also enables you to take electives in some area that you'd like to concentrate in. So we get a lot of social science students in particular, but others as well who are interested in social policy topics. And I'll show you some of the electives you can take in social policy. Other students are interested in market research, and the customer and user experience research is in that category. And we also have students that are interested in business analytics. So they want to do more with large data sets. They want to visualize data and help gather evidence to make informed evidence-based decisions. In the master's program, you'd learn to use SPSS, R. Those are the two statistical software packages we train on. And Qualtrics as well, which is a do-it-yourself survey writer, but it's a highly sophisticated one. It's a very good software package. And in Vivo, we use that for gathering and analyzing qualitative data. In the survey research course, we train students to write effective survey research questions and also to design and lay out an effective questionnaire that offers the user of the survey a good experience with minimal pain points and enables the researcher to gather the quantitative data that they need for their projects, whether it's in health, family, education policy, or it's in market research or something else. In the interviews and focus groups class, you'd be trained either to conduct in-person focus groups, or you may be conducting some of them online, and interviews as well. We use this in business for things like consumer listening to hear the voice of the customer. But in social policy research, we often are trying to learn about people that have had particular experiences, or people who are suffering from poverty, or are people who perhaps are immigrating to the country and trying to get an education. There are many social policy areas that interviews and focus groups lend themselves to for gathering information that you can use to inform policy decisions. Now, the electives I've been mentioning are in these different areas that you can see on the screen. These are the names of some of the courses that we offer in these areas. There are 4 social policy topics offered per year. The business analytics courses tend to be offered once or twice per year. And you can also take your electives in communications and media studies. For those of you interested in business analytics, you can get a certificate in business analytics just by taking all of your electives in our program in their certificate program. And those courses are listed right there: data wrangling, analytics, and data visualization. Finally, near the end of your program, the master's students complete a research practicum. In this course, they design and execute their own research project, and it can be something across all of the topics that I've been describing. We recommend that students ask someone to be their practicum reader, and that's a good way to get outside review of your work and also learn about the kinds of research that are appropriate to a particular field that you might want to work in. Students in this course work in a seminar-style class where they get feedback from their peers, and they're also led by their instructor to execute that individual project. Students in our program also get a lot of career assistance. Every month, we provide a list of new and recent local job openings and remote offerings. We also offer classes that have hands-on research experience, and we frequently conduct research for the university or for private companies that we enable our students to become involved in. So this is a key difference between a program, let's say an online certificate that you might get on the internet versus one that you'd get from an accredited university. We offer practical research experience. All students coming through our programs exit with something they can put on their resume. They can show that they've worked on a project or that they've already been involved in some kind of research. When students come to our program, they're often interested in one of these areas, but we like to think of our network of students as being uniquely equipped to introduce one another to some of the ideas and the jobs that they're pursuing. And we often find that some people come to us with an interest in data consulting, but then they decide they'd like to do social policy research or vice versa. So it's a good way to expand your network with other students that have different interests, but professors as well. And we can help you to make contact with a variety of different organizations that are hiring in this area. You can see some of the companies here that do the most hiring in these specific fields are listed. We offer multiple ways to complete your program. Typically, students pick from one of 2 options. Either they attend classes fully online, or they attend a hybrid mix of courses. If you're in the hybrid program, you can expect you'd be taking about 1 class per week on campus. If you're in the fully online program, all of your courses obviously would be online. Some of them are asynchronous courses that you complete entirely on your own time. You would watch videos and you'd interact with students using our course software. But in the fully online programs, there are some courses that are synchronous. So you need to be prepared for that as well. There are some courses that meet online over Zoom, just like in the way that we're doing right now. And you would need to be available at a certain time, but you can take the course from the comfort of your home, or if you're still at work, or wherever you are at that given time. So I'm going to start to describe the qualifications for the program. And I'd like to encourage you to use the chat. By now, people often have questions that they'd like to ask. So please use the chat field to put some questions in, and then I'll answer them one by one when I get to the end of the presentation. So students come to us with a bachelor's degree in all different fields. Many of them come from the social sciences, but we also get students from business and liberal arts, mathematics, a variety of different areas. We don't require any particular bachelor's degree, and I would argue that you're not necessarily at an advantage for having a certain bachelor's degree. We do not require the GREs or any other placement test. I've listed here a couple of things that we think are important for using data to make evidence-based decisions. We look for people who are curious, they have a desire to learn. If you're interested in customer and user experience research, it's important that you have empathy and you're interested in problem solving. If you're an undergraduate student at Montclair State, you can actually do a combined program where you complete your bachelor's and master's at the same time with just one additional year of study. If you have questions about that, I'll take it at the end. And if you've taken any graduate coursework at Montclair State or elsewhere, you might be able to apply up to 6 credits of your previous graduate work towards the master's degree. So we're taking applications now for students that would like to begin in the winter or the spring. If you're interested in customer and user experience research, there's an introductory course that's being offered in the winter session. So I highly encourage you to apply now if you're interested in that. When you apply to that program or to any of the programs, we ask you for a statement of purpose. This is a statement where you describe your background and your interests in the program that you're applying to and what you think makes you a good fit for the program. We also require your transcripts from any colleges that you've previously attended. And reference letters are optional. You can submit up to 2 of those if you choose. There is a $60 application fee, but it's waived for anyone who attends an info session like this one today, or one of the info sessions that we hold, sometimes not on an open house day, but we hold it just for students that are interested in our programs. So when you apply to the program, you would enter the fee waiver that says you attended an info session. We get a lot of questions about financial aid, so I like to spend a little bit of time on this. The best way for you to get government assistance is to apply for federal loans. You also may apply, however, for a graduate assistantship. Graduate assistants work about 10 hours per week. They have 6 to 9 credits of tuition that's paid for, and they also get a small stipend. We have several of these positions available every year, but generally speaking, to get a GA, it's best to apply in the fall semester. If you begin in the spring, it's unlikely that a graduate assistantship would be available. Now, if you look at the certificate programs and the master's degree, you'll notice that they are pretty low in terms of the number of credits that are required. The certificates only require about 12, and the master's degree is about 30 credits. So that's a cost saving in and of itself, and Montclair State's tuition is very low. So by completing just a 30 credit degree, you can finish rather quickly. And as I said, the cost is pretty low. If you stack it with the certificate programs, you can also save money because you'll be working towards 2 different things at the same time. You'd be working towards the certificate and the master's degree. And when you graduate, you would have both of them on your resume. If you're interested in getting a graduate assistantship or maybe just joining full-time in the fall of 2023, it's a good idea to apply now. And even if you can just take 1 or 2 courses, you can do that in the winter or you can do that in the spring and see if the program is for you. And then you can go full-time in the fall of 2023. And at that time, you can apply for a graduate assistantship. Or if you don't want a graduate assistantship, you can apply to begin full-time in the spring as well. After today's presentation, I'm going to give you these slides, and you can follow all the links that you see on the screen here. I'm going to show you some of the links, and then I'll also share some of them with you as well. I'm going to begin on the website for the master's degree in social research and analysis. This is a good place to start. Here you can see the master's degree described, and it shows you the certificates that you can pair with it. To learn about the certificate in CX and UX research or data collection and management, you can use these links on the side here as well. I mentioned the combined program for undergraduates at Montclair State. You can learn about that here. This is my favorite page. I'm going to send it to all of you directly right now. I see some questions in there. I'll get to those in just a minute. This is the page where you can learn about our students. Many of our students have bios online, and you can learn about the different reasons why they joined our program and what their interests are. We also offer just one second. There we go. Okay, so we also have an annual conference where employers in private industry and also in many nonprofit organizations and social policy organizations come to speak. We held our most recent one in April, and you can see the conference is fully online. Anyone can actually join the conference. You would come onto our site here, and you can click to learn about who's speaking. You can see this is Priscilla Burke. Priscilla is one of many of our students that recently got new jobs in these fields, and many of them came to speak with their employers. And usually there would be a link here that lets you join the Zoom right away. We've had a lot of students, as I mentioned, work for organizations now like Ipsos, Simpson Scarborough. I can give you a list if you're interested. We've had a lot of students with really good outcomes recently. I think about 15 to 20 in the last year got new positions. So if you're interested in the different places where they've worked, we can talk by email, and I can give you some ideas for where they've been landing. I'm looking for one other page here. Oh, here it is. This is our most recent monthly job list that we provided. We put it on the internet, so you can always come back here once a month and you can see the most recent positions we listed. Some of the links may be dead because the jobs fill pretty quickly. But if you'd like, you can also join our careers portal. And if you join our careers portal, we will let you know when we see something maybe that's specific to your interests. And finally, I'd like to encourage you to follow our social media. You can find us when I send you the links on Instagram, and LinkedIn mainly, but also on Twitter and Facebook. I'll send you a link to our Instagram now, and then the others you can pursue on your own. You'll get the slides and you can learn about those.